He just got 86.
Yeah, he got 86 for poor atmosphere, poor reception.
Did you get Joe the Dynamite numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, we got him.
All right, let me guess something. I'm gonna guess as usual. Starts off strong and it ends up weak.
Yep. Well, they basically it remained steady for the match.
Right.
And then when the match is over, there's a big when the Monet stuff and all that other stuff started. There was a huge. They dropped off like 100,000 people. It's pulled up, Joe. They dropped off like 100,000 people.
Yeah. Remember when some guys, they're not doing it as much now. They're like, oh, well, MJF's not a draw. Well, there's the proof.
Well, I honestly, okay, so this is kind of weird. The whole first hours was above like 830, 840,000, right?
Right.
The final number of the show was only 795. So that shows you how much it dropped off.
No, 685.
No, 795.
What am I looking at here? It says, doesn't it say here in the graph 685?
The actual total viewers for the whole show.
Oh. What was it?
Right. 795.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. I thought it would be over. I thought it would be over 8. I thought it'd be over 8.
Well, it's almost
with those guys. It was over 8 for those two
right.
two guys because this thing. But let's get to it. So they open up at the start of this match.
Don't read everything move for move.
No, I'm not. I'm not even going to read anything. I'm just going to tell you this is not my cup of tea.
Right.
I watched the show. This will be my take on this, okay? And I'm sure it's not going to be what people want to hear, right? But I'm not watching weekly episodic television to watch a 1 hour match. Right, I was constantly during this match changing the channel, coming back to it and stuff because, I mean, the past couple of weeks have been my type of show that I like to watch. That AEW's been doing. There's a lot of stuff going on. They were hot shotting, and they just completely threw that formula in the trash. Even though I thought the shows were doing good, and so okay, we're just going to put on a bunch of long wrestling matches this week, and we're not going to have a lot of storylines or even any storylines, And everybody's talking about how great the match was, but this is my issue with the Will Ospreay match. Okay, if somebody's trying to tell you what's the psychology, okay, watch this match and tell me the psychology isn't okay. Nothing hurts. You can throw the kitchen sink at me, and I'm going to kick out of everything for both guys. That's the psychology of this match. They did about an hour's worth of moves to each other and couldn't pin each other. All right, and then at the end, they counted it down and ref bump, and MJF puts the ring on and clobbers him with a punch, knocks him out. 1, 2, 3. He's a new champion. They did some comedy at the end where they had the gas, the oxygen mask on MJF because he was like, he was like passed out. That was actually pretty funny. But I'm sorry, they're positioning Ospreay as their number one babyface guy. They want to go, bro. He's doing too many He's taking too many losses here. This is 2 losses against guys that he should be up there on the card with in 2 weeks. Two clean pins. Well, not clean, but he got screwed with the ring. But he's been pinned twice. What do you think of this?
I wonder if their number one guy is Swerve then Ospreay. But he does take a lot of losses.
He is. I think so. But the narrative is that Ospreay is.
Yeah.
And he is taking 2. This guy shouldn't be losing like this often.
This was a good match. It was way, way too long for me. The best part of the match was the last 5 minutes. And you're right. There's no selling because this is the Japanese style that Ospreay's used to. You're not in Japan anymore, but the hardcores love the Japanese style. A lot of overreacting when MJF put the mask on, like he looked like he was going to die. You should have been selling it like 10 minutes before the match ended. I will say I liked when Ospreay was selling his knee because he was even walking on his toe to make it seem like he's keeping weight off his leg. That's very nice French kiss touch. MJF used the Styles Clash and the Crossroads. Bro, I couldn't believe when he did that Poison Rana or whatever he did to MJF, reverse Hurricane or whatever it was, and he landed on his feet.
Right. That to bro, I'm not. All that is it's like here's all the things we can do. We're going to do them all.
Right.
And it's like a lot of that flip stuff where you land on your feet is like, let's do this spot.
So I didn't expect them, right?
So,
but I still didn't expect them to do that. Then Ospreay did something very, very similar. But it's like, look, we're acrobatic, is what they're saying, and the fans like that. Most of them. Do.
Okay,
and
I just want to say this.
way too long. And the bottom line is they got the best numbers. I hope because they got best numbers, we're not going to start seeing 30 and 40-minute matches.
Hang on. Dude, this is fascinating. Oh my God. I'm going to read you something here. You're going to love this, Konnan. Okay. Right. This match, Jason Powell's review of this match. Okay.
Right.
Poor Jason Powell. Dude, 32 paragraphs.
What?
32 paragraphs.
On the match?
On this match. That's how much stuff happened in this match. He had to write 32 paragraphs worth of stuff.
And what was his final thing?
Let me read you a random paragraph. This is one of the paragraphs.
Yeah.
MJF whipped. This is a random paragraph in the middle of the match. MJF whipped Ospreay toward a corner of the ring, but Ospreay sold his knee and collapsed. MJF looked into the crowd and smiled. MJF chopped Ospreay, raked his back. MJF sent Ospreay toward the ropes, but Ospreay's knee gave out again. You
know what it sounds like? You know how when you're reading like baseball or football and it says play-by-play or game?
Right,
it's like the play. Yeah, it's an actual play-by-play of the wrestling match. So I don't need to hear all of that.
32 paragraphs. What
was his final thing? What was his final synopsis?
MJF shoved Ospreay in the referee, and they put some capital letters. Ref bump with 3 exclamation points.
No, but it says final thoughts or something like that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Powell's POV. A killer match. The live crowd seemed fully invested from start to finish, even though with the threat of it going to a time limit draw. I'm happy they went with Ospreay not using the Tiger Driver in this match, as opposed to making that a big part of the finish of his AEW World Championship match at Forbidden Door. The Dynamite Diamond Ring finish was perfect for MJF character and protected Ospreay. Oh, by the way, in this match, they did a gimmick where he went to use the Tiger Driver again and talked his way out of it and didn't use it, and that led to him losing and stuff. So it's like, I don't know.
They did a finish that sounded good, but it didn't come out as good as they probably sounded when they went over it. The match had 2 seconds before it would be a tie, but he hit him with the ring and he won.
Mm-hmm. So backstage, they had an interview with Briscoe Caster and Anthony Bowens, and Caster made his pitch for Briscoe to join them, Team AEW for Blood and Guts. And then Briscoe said Briscoe said they had his back a couple weeks ago when the Elite jumped him, and Briscoe said it's not just up to him. Then Swerve and Nana entered the picture, and Swerve said he's had issue with Caster over the years, but he knows what he's all about. And Swerve asked if they were ready to get violent, and they put all their hands together. They yelled in the camera, "We're coming for the Elite."
Yeah, this does not interest me.
No, it wasn't. So Big Bill, our boy, stood in the ring with the Learning Tree set, introduced Chris Jericho, came out with Brian Keith. Brian Keith still just, I don't know. It's kind of weird that they're sticking this guy in there, right? So, hi guys, Jericho said to Flat Reaction, it says. Jericho spoke about the crime in the city, said they could do better than that. He noted that it was Dynamite 250, and he said he's been on almost every show and vowed that he wouldn't miss another one. Jericho said he'd be on every episode until episode 500. Thanks, guys. Footage aired of the recent attacks on Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata. Jericho asked who would be crazy enough to not listen to Learning Tree or his teachings. Says, guys are getting hurt. He's talking about the guys that they're hurting. It's pretty funny. So then, Crickets wrapped in a tumbleweed. Minoru Suzuki made his entrance and entered the ring. Next week, Suzuki said, before holding up the contract. And Keith took the contract from him and read that it was an official order from AEW that banned him and Big Bill from ringside. Suzuki headbutted Jericho and waved to the crowd in Jericho fashion and left the ring. I mean, what'd you think of this?
Like I said before, if they continue to do this Learning Tree, it might get a little stale. It was hilarious when he said, I'm going to be on every show up to show 500. He got zero heat. They should have done something way better, but he got zero heat when he headbutted Jericho.
Right.
Yeah.
So backstage, Matt and Nick Jackson Okada delivered a promo and said it was ridiculously acclaimed think they will be the next tag team champions. The Matthew spoke about how they will have all the gold and all the power. But Nicholas pointed out they don't have the world championship. The Mercedes Moné showed up and thanked the EVPs for bringing Britt Baker from the backstage area during Dynamite 250. And Okada had Moné do her dance. And once she left, Okada acted like he was overheating. What did you think of this segment?
Let me tell you, this was super lame because Okada has a cool look, okay? And he's supposed to be the biggest star in New Japan. If he worked out more, he'd probably look more like a star. Bro, he acted like a geek who's never gotten... Yep. Who does that? That's something maybe Hughley would do or something, but give me a break. You're supposed to be cool. You dress in suits. You're making good money. Like he does not look like he has any problem getting women.
Right. It doesn't make it appear like she's overly sexy. It makes it appear like he's overly geeky. Basically.
Right.
let me tell you what the show, the drastic difference in this show and WWE is, like, I'm looking at Okada, okay, and I'm looking what they want him to be, okay, and I just like, if I had Borash with me, okay, I say, dude, we could just, this is very easy, right? We're gonna get him in a nice setting, nice suit, kind of dark a little bit, everything. We're going to put a soundtrack with maybe some Japanese kind of music in the background and have him cut a promo with the subtitles. That makes him a more sinister, serious character than trying to speak English and he can't. Bro, this is what killed off Nakamura, is when your English is not good and all you do is just say a couple lines because you can't speak English like well, and it's just like it just diminishes your character. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's being like, this is a colossal waste of money the way they're producing this guy. You know,
right, bro? And bro, I would have like a hot Japanese chick next to him, and then maybe the girl that's serving him wines, kind of flirting with him a little bit. You know, like, put him over, dude. I mean, you look like a super geek here,
right? If you took, remember they brought in Escobar, right? Okay, and they brought him in and they produced him like he's in a club with drinks and stuff, you know, like a night. Bro, that's what they should be doing with this guy. Make him look like he's a big deal. The only thing that makes a big deal is that the Meltzer says this guy's like one of the highest rated guys and he's wearing a suit. That's it. Like, there's nothing to this character at all, you know? So, I don't know. And plus, too, the Jacksons still do not. They got no heat. They don't come off as heels. They're trying to act.
And
like
I love
heels
those guys, bro, but they don't. They have no heat.
Right. So Mercedes Moné they have an open challenge. I mean, she's in the middle of an angle with Britt Baker. Why is she having just an open challenge in the middle of this? Just to have a match? It's like ridiculous. So she's an open challenge match, and she beats Nyla Rose in 9 minutes. And after the match, she grabbed a fan sign that said "DMD is better than CEO" and tore it up. And the fan who brought the sign wore a sting mask and pie-faced Moné before removing the mask to reveal herself as Britt Baker. Then Moné ran away, and security quickly interfered to keep Baker away from Moné, and the broadcast team said Baker was banned from the back but not buying a ticket for being at ringside. I thought this was corny. I mean, they could have done so much better with these two. What did you think of this? Did you like this?
My main, Nyla's so much bigger than her. It almost felt like she was doing the kid gloves with her. I don't know why she was being so ginger with her, but anyways, you know, the Moné wanted to get under Britt Baker's skin, so she pulled out a glove just like she does and did that. What is it called, lockjaw or whatever?
Right.
But you could see it coming on TV, even though live the people popped that was Britt Baker under the mask. I like the fact that last week she beat up some of the security guys and the other ones are afraid of her, but this week they were able to detain her. So is she a badass or not?
So they're trying to book Jack Perry's a badass. He's backstage. He said Darby Allin only asked for his attention. Do you think about Brandon Cutler? Perry asked. Then the camera showed an injured Cutler on the floor. Then Perry roughed up Cutler, then told Allin to find him tonight and he'd show him what a real sacrifice looks like. And he was acting like real super tough this whole time. Why is he attacking Brandon Cutler if he's with the EVPs?
That's a very good question. And on top of that, when he goes, I don't care about Brandon Cutler. Guess what, Perry? No, so does nobody else, and nobody cares about you. Nothing.
Right. Well, for storyline purposes, they need to follow up on that. Like, Cutler needs to go to the EVPs and say, like, if they want to make a storyline out of this, this was just like a random spot to try to make Perry look tough, which he does not.
I wonder if Brandon Cutler got thrown out of the group somehow and we never saw that because it was maybe on Rampage or being the lead.
Right. Okay. So I stepped away from the computer for a minute, and when I came back, Mariah May was in the ring cutting a promo. She was dressed exactly like Toni Storm, and literally a full minute went by before I figured out that was not Toni Storm. She looked exactly like her, you know?
That was absolutely great. I thought it was Toni too, because when she first started to talk, I was like reading something on my phone.
Right.
And I was looking up and I was like, what? I go, bro, she looked just like her.
Because Tony Schiavone called her in the middle, and I was going, why is he calling her? And then I realized, like, that's Mariah May. So, like, you know, but I literally, like, because I didn't see the entrance or see a thing. I just, like you said, I looked up. I saw it in the ring, and I thought it was Tony.
I think they started with her like right in the ring. That's why.
Oh, is that how they did?
I don't think she had an entrance. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically she said, Tony, I've never loved you more than when you're on your knees, bleeding, crying, screaming my name. That was your greatest performance, and my greatest performance will be All In because now All Elite Wrestling is all about Mariah. So
I thought this was great, and I love the ending when she's in the middle of the ring like a snow angel kind of, and that was really nice. She's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, modeling and posing, and very, very well done.
So they actually showed something that happened on Collision, and they showed the Guns and the Juice Robinson and the Guns saying the person who wanted to strip them of the Unified Trios titles would have pulled them from their cold dead hands. Later, they handed them over to Christopher Daniels and said he didn't like. They spoke briefly about facing Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne for the vacant titles on this week's Collision.
Yeah, I like these three, but their interviews are kind of nonsensical, especially Juice Robinson. He's kind of like the ultimate warrior of the group with the promos.
Well, and they're kind of like they're kind of neutral characters too, because they were heels, then they were baby faces when they were their claim,
but
then they turned and they claimed they're heels again. Now they're the baby faces in this angle again. So it's like, I don't know. So it's hard to get the fans aren't going to get invested in them. So that match is going to be very weird because I don't think they want to like either of the groups.
But they're entertaining.
So Swerve against Okada. And you knew how this would end. Interference. Everybody interferes. Then they do the gimmick when they had a big brawl, which was not a good-looking brawl. Then the Darby's music played, and the security guards get between the Elite and the entranceway. But then behind the Elite, in front of the ring where the babyface were, Darby comes from the ceiling like Sting used to do, and he actually looked good brawling.
Yeah, he looked like he was taking his eyes out, bro. He's a good brawler. Like his looks real. Right. Most of the other guys' stuff was really bad.
Really bad.
So let me ask you a question because it's very important to me. I have my own opinion, but what did you think when they brought him down like Sting?
I mean, it should have been done like in the middle of, if it was like for the day.
I thought it was so underwhelming.
Sting came down in the middle of a chaotic thing, right in the middle of it.
No, not only that, bro. If you remember,
remember
how they sold it? Oh my! From the Raptor, he finally came down. Like they made a big deal out of it. This is like, all right, he just came down. They unhooked him. And he went after the guy. I thought it was very, very underwhelming. Great idea, but very underwhelming.
Right. And they all brawl, but bro, this is what I can't stand this too, dude. Have you ever seen a street fight where guys are forearming each other?
That ain't a street fight, dude.
But there's
a wrestling fight.
It's a wrestling fight. It's not a match.
2024. Yeah,
when these guys are throwing,
it's a different time.
I'm aware of that.
Almost all the wrestlers forearm now.
I'm aware of that, but to me it looks very stupid because the concept is you're throwing a forearm because you're going to get disqualified for throwing a fist, but you're not even going to throw a fist in a brawl where there's no match.
Right.
Which looks it makes you look like
because they don't know how to punch. Right. That's exactly what it looks like.
But it's true. Right? They don't. It's like your punches look so bad you have to throw forearms.
Punches look way better than a brawl if you know how to punch.
Right. Right. Of course. So I don't know. That's one skill. If you know what
that's missing today.
AEW could bring me in there before one of their shows. And I could just have a class, get everybody in there, and within 30. I did this. I had a seminar one time for a bunch of fans. And I brought the fans into the ring as part of the seminar and taught the fans how to throw a punch. And they were some of these fans were throwing some pretty good looking punches.
Really? Wow.
Because I teach them how to throw like me, and my punches.
Because that's an art, bro. That really is an art, and it takes a while to learn.
It's not that difficult, though.
No,
it's really not if you just get it. If you learn the right way, So I don't know. But yeah, this was not my cup of tea. This cat, I'm not going to. You're not. If you would have told me they were going to have an Iron Man match, okay, I would have basically started watching the show at like right near the end of the Iron Man match.
That's weird. How come we didn't know it was an Iron Man match? Had they announced it?
It was not an Iron Man match. It just almost went to a 60-minute.
Well,
draw.
Might as well have been.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's
So
you're going into a pay-per-view coming up, and you need all the time you can to tell stories to make people interested in the matches. In the middle of this build to All In, they're having a 60-minute match on a 2-hour show. Why don't you just have a 2-hour match?
Who is MJF wrestling in All In?
I'd love for them to do this. A 2-hour match.
It's already? Oh, I thought it was in Wembley. It's already going to happen?
That's going to be on August 25th, so a month and a week.
Oh, a month. Well, why wasn't Daniel Garcia involved in this somehow?
Wait, you know what? Disco, what? Or Konnan. He is wrestling Daniel Garcia, right? Because on the
That's
Wikipedia,
been announced.
at Wembley.
It's been announced.
it's not on the
Right.
Wikipedia for some reason. That's weird.
Well, maybe they took the
Yeah,
match.
but why wasn't, if he's going to wrestle him, why wasn't Daniel Garcia on this show?
He's hurt. They said he had no. They said he had no feeling in his arms.
Oh, that's right.
Last week,
That's
He's
right.
got
So-
injuries.
he's got Daniel Garcia has been
Well,
paralyzed.
dude, they should
basically,
do a
by-
video package on him or something. Keep him in the mind of everybody.
because he was the build for this whole match. Basically, he's part of the build for it. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand, and we say on here a lot, like you guys just had the conversation. Well, it's wrestling, but when they tell me via their commentators or something that Daniel's got cervical injuries, and it's not a medical specifics. Instead of them going, it just doesn't sound real. Just tell me that he's got a bulging disc or something. Don't give me this weird.
Well, the
term.
problem is that we're kind of part of the hardcore fan base, and we know it's very easy to look it up and see it's not real.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but my bigger problem isn't that, because you just suspend your disbelief like everything else. Why isn't they doing like a video package on the MJF Daniel Bryan rift or something pre-recorded?
Because you had because your show had an hour-long match.
Well, he should have been on the show somehow.
So where's the
some
other
way.
time for the other stuff?
Okay, when they're doing that,
that's
they
my
could have
point.
taken out the
This was not
Briscoe
necessary
interview
to have
backstage. They could have taken out the Brandon Cutler and Jack Perry thing and put in a video package.
Right.
I think that's way more
And this
important.
is the stuff that we're talking. This is kind of funny too, because this is stuff that we're talking about, right?
Right.
And you go and listen to these other podcasters and Dave and stuff. They're doing 10 to 15 minutes just talking about the match.
That's
I'm like,
way
who gives-
too much. Right.
way
Way too much.
Well, it's 32. It was a 32 paragraph match. It was a record,
Right.
but Jason Powell. I'm gonna actually
Now-
tweet Jason.
now,
Jason
Joe,
Powell.
Yes.
What was the number last week for Dynamite compared to this week? Do you know?
Yeah, I got it right here. 795 this week. Last week 691. They went up 15%.
So that long match helped them.
Wait, what's
It
the
also
biggest-
says this episode, like I said, 795 versus the average of the past 4 weeks was 640. So they're actually up 24% from the last 4
Of course
episodes.
they were.
Yeah.
Because and why did they have such a good number this week?
What was the leading Republican National Convention?
No, it's not even that. Bro, they advertised a match between two stars. That
Right.
built up for a couple weeks, and that's what you, bro. You can go over 800,000 every single week. You can do Christian versus Jay White,
Which is
next
what
week
we've
and
been
build up-
saying.
you
Which
can,
is what we've been saying.
right. You can have you got all these guys. You can
There's
put
the proof.
Yeah, bro. We never really remember Nitro. They didn't really hold a lot back.
Right.
Remember they had the top 12 guys, and
Yeah.
at least
You're
two
on
of the matches
TV.
on the
Bring
show
it.
was some of the top guys fighting each other every
Right.
single week, regardless. So
Right.
yeah. So
And even when there was a match where as a fan you could go, all right, hey, look, they're going to have Kurt Hennig versus Chris Jericho. And Kurt's going to take it because he just came in and he's a bigger star at the time. But it's going to be good either way, too. They're going to
it's
have
a compelling
they're gonna
matchup.
bring
You're not exactly sure what they're going to do.
Right.
Well,
and
Tony
so-
was too busy trying to make mid-carders, which you can't make them just because they wrestle a
Right.
star. Takes
Right.
time.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.